What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games, and in today's video, we're going to talk about more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks, and there's even more brand new leaks that just dropped today, and we're covering all the brand new news. And of course, guys, if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Before we dive into the actual leaks, we got some incredibly exciting news here. There is a new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet subdomain registered, and when you try to click on this link here, it doesn't actually lead to anything, but it's going to go live at some point. Right now you get a 403 error, but once that web page goes live, I'm sure there's gonna be tons of new information for Scarlet and Violet. And I wouldn't be surprised if this page actually ties into a brand new Pokemon trailer, which a lot of people are thinking that we're going to probably be getting later this month. We're just going to have to wait and see, but I really hope we do, because the leaks showed us so much exciting information, and it's really hard just to wait at this point for the official news. We need it now. Before we begin with the real leaks here as well, I do want to say there is a lot of fake information going out right now for Scarlet and Violet, so be on the lookout for a lot of blurry photos that are going to be showing up that aren't from the original leaker. Pretty much the only people we can trust right now is the original leaker, which I'm not saying their name because they said don't say my name, and Riddler Coup. Those are the only two people we can trust right now, and there is a big content creator out there right now who is spreading a lot of fake news on Twitter about this stuff, so watch out. They were already exposed for posting fake 4chan stuff. So diving into this, well, we learned from Centro here that the Jigglypuff is an ancient form. And you didn't see this yesterday. Here is the Jigglypuff ancient form. It's literally just its head. It has two fangs like a vampire, and it has these big yellow eyes. And it's very cool looking. Personally, I'm very excited for this thing. We also saw this Amoonguss, which could potentially be another ancient form. It was confirmed by Riddler Coup that both the Jigglypuff and the Amoonguss are going to have the same mechanic. So I think ancient forms could just be the general mechanic here. And I'm saying it's a mechanic because it is separate from regional forms. This was actually the regional fake that Riddler Coup was talking about before. So we're going to have to treat this as its own thing. We don't have a lot of details on what this actually means, because there is going to be regional forms. There are going to be other forms of Pokemon, but this is different. Ancient forms and regional forms are going to be two separate things, just to put that out there. So I am incredibly excited to see this Amoonguss and Jigglypuff, what we actually get with them. And apparently there's going to be 3 others, and the other 3 are going to be all from Gen 2. And it seems like the candidates for the Gen 2 ones is going to be the Giraffridge and the Evolution that we already saw of it. And apparently there is a Dunsparce Evolution coming that was leaked. And we also heard that there's going to be a new Murkrow Evolution and a regional Wooper. The regional Wooper could be different from the ancient form, so I just want to mention that it is another Gen 2 Pokemon that could fit into this. We just haven't actually seen these Pokemon in action yet with their new forms or evolutions, so just want to put that we have 4 options right now for 3 slots, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Very exciting that we've learned about the new crystallization gimmick. So this gimmick is sort of our new Dynamax in a way, where it's going to be a thing that every Pokemon in battle can actually use. Essentially, this thing will last the entire battle as long as the Pokemon is currently in combat. And essentially, you can give them an additional stab thing. And you don't know what stab is, the same type attack bonus. So it's not a new type. It's not going to change their actual typing, but it's going to give them a damage bonus when they use a particular move. So in this example, Pikachu is an electric type, right? So he doesn't get an extra damage boost from using a fire move because he's not a fire type. But if you use the crystallization gimmick, which you don't have a name for, he will now be able to do the same amount of damage that he would normally do with an electric move with a fire type move. The same type of boosted damage, which is pretty massive. That's going to be really big for competitive play, and especially the fact that this is going to be available for all Pokemon. That's pretty incredible. I do think that special Pokemon like the starters will get their own actual crystallization forms to this, and they'll have like something cool looking with it as well. Now, this is incredibly exciting. Gyms can be done in any order, which is really cool. They're really expanding on that open world type of gameplay. However, there is no scaling to the gym leaders, which I do think this first part is phenomenal. This second part is the biggest miss possible. I really hope this isn't true, but it honestly sounds like the most Game Freak thing to happen. So I am looking forward to a modded version of this game that will have level scaling, so you can just battle the gym leaders in any order. That would be absolutely sick. So I do wonder how they're going to make it so you don't challenge harder trainers, because there's definitely ways in Pokemon where you can sort of use different strats to gimmick your way through these really hard fights and easily win, because the AI usually isn't that smart. and there's just a couple of move combinations, abilities, and items you can use to really mess with these things. You must clear 3 routes in quest to see the ending, so there are 3 routes, 3 full story routes to complete. And once you complete all 3 routes, you will get the real ending of the game. So I wonder what that means in the story. I wonder if that means beating the game 3 times. So that would be pretty crazy, honestly. I had to beat the game 3 times. So maybe the game's short in that way. It brings up a lot of questions, but we're gonna have to wait and see what this actually means. We don't know exactly what the 3 routes are, but I'm pretty excited though. I mean, this is a lot different than your usual Pokemon game. And you can rebattle gym leaders, which is always some fantastic news. So apparently Hypno is gonna be coming back, but it doesn't have a new form. No Bidoof, no Beedrill in the game. I'm gonna miss Beedrill for sure. That's unfortunate. Lechank's evolution has a gender difference, which is this sort of fits with the leaks we've heard from Riddler Coup, because apparently the female version is sort of like has like lipstick on it. So we're gonna have to see what the male version looks like. I'm very excited though, because Lechonk, you know, he's a fan favorite right now, so we're gonna have to wait and see. Mimikyu and Magikarp are in, but not Applin. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm really interested in how many Gen 8 Pokemon will actually make it over. I feel like Gen 8 will get the most cuts overall, just because it was the most recent. There's no difficulty options, which is to be expected at this point. Elite Four is back, which Riddler Coup did confirm before. And apparently there are classes, exams, interviews in the game. But now this last part is very interesting. Apparently there's a hammer Pokemon, or at least one that uses a hammer. So there's a Pokemon that uses a hammer. So I'm guessing like a Bob the Builder type of Pokemon. But what does that really mean? Well, if we look at what Riddler Coup says, piggybacking off of what Centro has said here from the original leaker, Riddler Coup says, we decided to piggyback off his legacy. He mentioned the hammer, right? Actually, it was the Waifumon that we would like to tease in June, but it was voted 3rd, so it got shafted and postponed, and now thanks to him, say welcome to your lolly waifu. Also the Acemon for one of the Elite Four members. So that was a lot of big news right there. One, that is the lolly waifu Pokemon. It has a hammer. We don't know the typing or anything, but apparently it's going to look like a lolly waifu. I'm not excited about that at all. That sounds pretty terrible, honestly, but that's pretty cool. That isn't an Acemon for the Elite Four, which means this is probably, I mean, if it's a lolly waifu, I'm going to imagine that it's small, so it may only be a single form Pokemon. It may not actually evolve, and we don't know what the Elite Four typings are yet, but they're probably not going to be the same types as the gym leaders, so we can rule out the 8 gym leaders, so we can sort of narrow it down there a little bit. And the fact that it's an ace Pokemon means it probably is a good Pokemon to some degree, or at least usable and viable, at least within the regional decks of Scarlet and Violet. So that's pretty interesting to hear about. I think that's really exciting news. I really hope we get to hear more from Riddler Coup about this hammer Pokemon, just because, I mean, Pokemon using tools is very cool to me. And if it does evolve, I wonder if it gets like 1 hammered and 2 hammers and maybe becomes a hammer. There's a lot of possibilities we can go down with that. Riddler Coup has also said that to note that the person who is making the leaks right now is actually a Chinese leaker, but they're translating everything from Chinese to Japanese, and then we're translating their bad Japanese to English, and the whole thing is currently a mess. So that is why there's a lot of false information going around. It's just because there's big translation issues across the board. So just be on the lookout for that. And also there's, like I said, people are totally making up some information right now, which is pretty unfortunate overall. But at the moment, you know, Riddler Coup pretty much says everything this guy is saying is right for the most part. Just a couple things are wrong, but it's really just up to the language barrier. The last thing I want to cover here is this is a general idea of what Pokemon we know are coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And the Pokemon that are in the red are confirmed to not be in the game. And this was confirmed from the leaker. So this is going to be pretty legitimate for at least what's not in. All the things that are green are what has been seen in the trailers or confirmed by the leaker or by Riddler Coup. I will note that legendary Pokemon are most likely not going to make it into the game in general, so they've all been put into the red. Some have actually been harder to confirm not to show up, but if it makes sense, I mean, if the dex is really going to be like 400 Pokemon, it's like Sword and Shield, it had no legendary Pokemon outside of Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus until we actually got the DLC, which added a bunch of more Pokemon. So just keep that in mind. And of course, there's going to be no Megas. We already learned that no Megas were coming. No Dynamax Evolution is coming. So this is a general idea of what we can expect from returning Pokemon. I think the biggest thing that is not coming back that is confirmed is Gen 1 to 8 starters are not coming back. So no Charizard, no Venusaur, no Blastoise, no like Infernape, no Superior, no, not even the Hisuian starters are coming back. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, but that's like super interesting stuff right here, honestly. And there's a big missing gap for Gen 3 right now. So yeah, we're just really gonna have to dive in and actually see what's going on with Gen 3. I think a lot of Gen 3 is just not gonna be coming back, but we just don't know. I mean, Gen 1 took a pretty big chunk right here. Gen 7 looks pretty devastating because half of the gen was Ultra Beast. Gen 8 actually looks like sort of not good, but we're just gonna have to see. But yeah, expect about 400 to probably 500 Pokemon. We don't know how many new Pokemon are going to come, and this list also doesn't show any of the confirmed new Pokemon. But yeah, just only expect the Gen 9 starters to be in the game. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, enjoy my leaks, enjoy my talks on Pokemon, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time with more Pokemon and video game action. Peace out, and have a great one.